Hey guys, happy Friday. Thank you for joining me. My name's Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time where we can relax and craft together and work on a project for about an hour or so here. So we do projects from beginning to end, so you can see the whole entire process, and so you can make it with me. And right now we're working on the Splendid Sampler 2 quilt along, and we have the book now, the Splendid Sampler 2. You can read more about the quilt along on thesplendidsampler.com or on the Splendid Sampler Facebook page. So we are doing the Antique Memories. We got this far last night. It's a little courthouse block, a traditional courthouse block is what they're called, where you have kind of the stairs coming down this way, and then you have it mirrored up there, and then the same thing on the sides. And we have one more round to go all the way around here, and then that will be that. We will have a whole nother block finished, and that will be super wonderful. That'll be 3 finished blocks that we have. When we get one more, then I can do another quilted square. And we actually have one here ready to go, so we'll have 2 ready. So here's one of mine all put together, ready to quilt for the quilt as you go. And once I finish this and one more, we'll have another set of 4, so we can do 2 at once, which would be kind of nice. So all right, I'm gonna flip you around and we'll get started this evening. All right. Here we are. Okay, so what we have to do left is, I kind of have it laid out here. We have a white side, we want to strip here and here, and then we have this yellow that will go at the top and the bottom. So that is the plan for tonight. Ooh, hot, hot Australia, Jennifer. It is, it's not higher than 20-something degrees Fahrenheit here. So it's pretty chilly. We got a bunch of snow. Actually, I wonder if I can't see outside, but it's supposed to snow. And I'm realizing right now that I think my kitchen window is open a little bit. So we're going to have to take care of that. That might be why it's so cold in the house. But all right, so let's check our block again. It is page 34. Here's the Antique Memory. So here you can see more like boldly, I suppose, the difference. The differences in color and value. So you have the stair stepping on the top and bottom, and then on the side as well. And that's a typical courthouse steps block. And so you can see it here a little more subtly because I'm using these subtle, more like light, not so contrasty colors. I'm doing kind of like these tans and whites going out this way, and then yellows going up the side, and then a cute little panda in the middle with his little, his umbrella, because, pandas need their umbrellas. All right, so we need, next up is white. That is 2 strips that are 1 1/4 by 5 inches. So let's get that. Get my rulers here. I'm gonna keep this guy off to the side this time. I almost sliced through him before, so I'm gonna throw that way over there. All right, so let's find, we need to do this white. So, okay, so what was it again? It was 1 1/4 by 5 inches. Yeah, so we need to find, like, ideally a 10-inch strip somewhere in here that I can kind of cross cut. Let's see, I don't think this is quite 10 inches, is it? No, this is probably like 7. Ooh, 8 inches, we're close. What about all the way up the side here? Oh, that's just almost 10. So I think I'll just, this side has a lot of cuts out of it. Maybe I should just, trying to decide which side I should trim up. I think I'm going to do this side. It's just going to be a little bit easier. So I'm going to press this first, and then we'll trim it up a little bit, and we'll get the 2 5 inches. So I'm cutting a 1 long 1 1/4 by 10-inch strip, and then I'm going to cut that strip in half to get my 5 inches. That's my game plan here. All right, there. We're a little bit more pressed where I want to be here. So let's get this side nice. I don't think I have any little weird tick marks out of there. Nope, so I can just go right near this edge. But I'm going to get a nice fresh cut all the way up. There we go. Okay, so 1 1/4. Just rotate it around. 1 1/4. Man, someone was mentioning on Facebook today about with quilting that we should just all be switching the parts that we don't like. Like, you know how we were talking about what your least favorite part was of sewing and quilting yesterday. And I was talking about how I didn't like cutting. I could do without all this cutting. They were talking about like just trading, like, you know, I'll take your cutting for a binding, you know what I mean? Because some people just hate doing a binding. And or like a hand unbinding, I would love way more to do a binding than cutting. So man, if someone cut up all my little squares and all my little, you know, whatever else is, and I'd trade to sew their binding on, that doesn't sound so bad, I don't think. All right, so I'm gonna just trim up this side over here. Get two nice good edges over there. Me too, Leslie. I like the handwork stuff, especially a binding. It is the last part of the quilt. You know you're done when that's done, and you know, after a long project, I find that pretty rewarding. And you get to just watch a movie. So, I don't know. I like it. Okay, there we go. There are our 2 1 1/4 by 5-inch strips. Now let's get this guy back over here. Oh, you do that? You don't like cutting either, Bonnie? Yeah. All right, so these are the 2 sides there. Oh, should I cut the next sides first since we're at it, or should we sew? Last night I cut and then we sewed right away. Let's do that tonight too, just because I want to avoid cutting. But, you know, I know that there's more cutting involved next, but oh well. So debating whether I should just get it all done at once and move on, but we're going to sew. All right, so right sides together. This white doesn't have a right or a wrong side, so I'm just going to plop it on there. Would help if I turned on the machine. And I always kind of like, let's get the stiletto in there to help us just guide it in to start. All right, once I got that going, I'm going to match up the ends just in case I need to like stretch this or move it a little bit so the locks fit, but I think we're good. Make sure the edges are aligned. Yep. All right, got everything held down. I'm ready to sew my hopefully straight line. I'm not always the best at straight lines. I tend to veer right at the end. So right at the end of my rows that I sew right here, I'm always thinking, don't veer off to the right. Not sure how well I do though. All right, rotating that around, and let's get the other white side on. We are going to have a real quick evening here tonight because I'm just going to finish this up. I did prep a little bit for the Precious Things block. So Precious Things was the block I was intending to start yesterday, but then I realized it was foundation paper pieced. I thought it was just regular piecing like what we're doing here. I thought it was just kind of a more advanced version of this. But it was foundation paper piecing, so I wasn't prepared to do foundation paper piecing. So I'll show you what I am just gathering to prepare for that. We will start that Monday. So I think next week we are going to have a foundation paper piecing week because we'll start the Precious Things block, and then I want to finish up one or more, probably not more, but at least one of my other unfinished paper piecing projects. So we've had a few foundation paper piecing projects in the Splendid Sampler 2 so far, and I don't have a single one of them finished, so it would be nice to have something done here. All right, I'm keep on pressing to the outside. That's what we've done this entire block. So that side first. Oh, you can definitely see that stair step. I really like it. I was unsure because my colors are all they're all light. They're very light. I wasn't sure if you would be able to see this stair stepping of this courthouse steps style block. But I think, especially with that white on the outside, I think we're kind of getting that. And then we have the one more yellow, so we're getting there. Okay, so next up is our last fabric here. It is a little lighter, but I think we're still going to get the effect we're going for here. So, all right, what do we need from here? Let's check it out. Okay, 1 1/4 by 6 1/2. So we might be able to, if there's a 13-inch strip somewhere in here. Oh, this is that weird long 1/4 inch thing. This one we might just have to cut 2 strips and call it a day. Let's see, what do we got going over here? We've already cut on this side. Yeah, I don't think that's 6 1/2 inches. Pretty positive, yeah. So we're gonna just cut, I'm gonna do it from this side. I'm gonna just cut 2 strips and we'll cross cut it to the 6 1/2 inches. So I'm just going to go right over here. I won't move the camera. We'll just give it a little quick press. I keep setting my rulers on my pressing mat and then I have to keep moving them, so I feel like I'm jostling things around my work area a lot today. All right, I'm gonna just point you guys a little bit back here. I think my phone is color correcting a little bit. This is actually quite a bit more yellow than it's showing up. It's showing up rather pale, but I think once the camera reads everything together, I think it'll read more as yellow. All right, so I'm just getting that first nice edge. I'm cutting off the selvage. That's why I'm cutting off so much. So you can see here's the selvage, all those little dots there. That's what the machine that prints this is pulling the fabric through on the fabric there. So I don't want those dots. All right, I'm going to do the double ruler method here because I don't want to flip all this fabric around. That just sounds annoying. So instead, since I have 2 rulers, I'm going to grab one and I'm gonna leave everything where it is, the fabric, and I'm gonna measure my 1 1/4 inches here. All right, that looks good. And I'm not gonna left hand cut it. I'm gonna just put my other ruler right up against it. There we go. And now I'm gonna remove the first ruler. I'm just gonna scooch it down. Now this will be 1 1/4 inches. I did 1 1/4, didn't I? Not 1 1/2. Yeah, 1 1/4. And that double ruler method is just nice because then I don't have to move all this fabric and mess up my nice perfect line that I just cut earlier. So instead, we'll just double ruler it. All right, 1 1/4. Oh man, I kind of feel like I'm gonna sneeze. I got a flu shot today, so that's done. Mom will be happy. She always asks if we got our flu shots. So maybe a little late to get it, but when we first heard that the flu shot was out and ready, both of me and my husband had like super annoying colds, so we didn't want to get a flu shot when we had a cold. Then we just hadn't gotten it yet. But we're all set now. Except for I can't be around anybody that has the flu for like 2 weeks. So stay away. Because I think the vaccine it doesn't really start working for like 2 weeks, or the immunity or whatever doesn't work for 2 weeks. All right, let's see. This was what, 6.5 inches? Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna just trim the one side. I think I'm gonna do the double ruler method for this as well. So I've stacked both fabrics on top of each other just to make it all nice. I'm gonna use that other ruler. So here's my 6.5 inch ruler. I'm gonna use that to make the first cut. Again, I'm just trimming off that edge. Ooh, I don't think I'm quite straight. There we go. I'm just aligning the ruler along the bottom edge there. All right, and then since it's 6.5 inches and this is a 6.5 inch ruler, I'm going to leave that there. Get my other ruler up here and do the double ruler method for this. There we go. All right, only a little scrap left. Maybe I'll use this for a new leader on the sewing machine. It's kind of the perfect size. All right, we got our 2 pieces. This is our top and the bottom, and that will be that. Oh, it's gonna be so cute. Yeah, I think this could have been like a little darker, and it might have been a little bit better, but I think we're gonna be okay. Okay, here we are. So again, right sides together. Oh, you guys, another exciting thing. It's hard to tell what's the right and wrong side, but it's correct like this. My embroidery kits are back on Massdrop. So I don't know if you saw the link that I put on the Facebook page, the Penguin and Fish Facebook page, but my embroidery kits are back online. So if you want the embroidery kits for a little cheaper than normal, you can go check out Massdrop for the next couple days here. I forgot to put a link in this video, but in my last post or in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group, they'll be there. Oh, you saw them, Leslie! Yay! All right, yeah, we'll use this for our new leader. All right, trim that up. This guy's getting a little hairy. And the other side. Again, it's a little hard to tell what's the right and wrong side. I'm just kind of lining up the top and getting that started. Ooh, I'm like, why is my pedal so weird? It's because I have my shoes on again. I think the shoes are staying on this time. They're high tops and they're laced up pretty high, so I don't think I can flip them off. I like sewing in my socks or bare feet a little bit better than shoes. I can just feel the pedal more, I feel like. All right, I'm holding the ends together. I'm holding the edges together. We're good to go. Oh, your mail's just horrible there. Okay, I'll get this guy on here. And that's it for sewing. Got a little extra thread up there. Okay, let's give this a press and we'll see how it goes. All right. I always like giving the seam a little press before opening it up. I think it's, the idea is that it sets the seam so it heats up the thread, I think, and kind of, I don't know, gets it ready for the rest of the pressing. I'm sure there's a reason. Or it's an old quilting wives' tale or something. Who knows? It's looking cute. All right, there is our courthouse step, the antique memories. I think it turned out so sweet. Let's just do a quick measurement. It's always nice double checking, see if we got our 6.5 inches. Little fuzzle. A couple little fuzzles. This one needs to be snipped. There we go. All right. It should be just exact. And we are pretty good. It's a little shy this way, but I think if I just kind of yank on it a little bit, I think it'll get there. I may still be, maybe I'm doing my seam allowance just a little too much yet. That could be the case, but we're close enough. Definitely close enough for sure. All right, I like it, and I think you can definitely see that courthouse, the stairs yet. That's what I was worried about, but I think we are, we got it. So yay! One more. Let's see. So I got that one done, and the other two that are waiting are to be made into it are the hashtag love. Oh, these two are going to be really cute together, I think. All this white and then all this yellow, I think it's pretty together. So hashtag love and the little kitty catnap with Chad. So these three will be in a block together soon, once I get one more done. And then, well, I'll put it in here soon, but then here are some of the other blocks. So this is that Betty's Bloom. This is foundation paper piecing. So I'm hoping to work on this a little bit next week, hopefully. And then this flowering tree one, I think we'll do this one for sure next week. So those are my two foundation paper pieced one. The one that we'll be working on to start out is another one of the blocks that was released this week. I think it was on page, let's see, I think it was on page 94 or something. Nope. Oh yeah, right here. So Precious Things. So this is the block that we were going to do yesterday, and we're going to do this Monday instead. So what I've done to prepare for it is I've just, from the back template here, here it is right here, Precious Things. It's right up there on the fold. I've photocopied that just from just straight photocopy. I do want to measure to make sure that this is 6.5 inches. Ooh, and it's a little shy. So I think I've heard that sometimes a photocopier can shrink just like a hair, and I think that's happened because look, I'm like an 1/8, maybe about a 16th too small here. So I will probably re-photocopy that. I'm curious. Let's see if the actual printout is to size. But I've heard people talk about that. Oh, Lucy, you're just finishing this one. That's awesome. You'll have to post it over in Penguin Fish Crafters. Oh, you guys, this in the book it's a slightly smaller too. So it's not my photocopy. In the book it's just a hair small. So you know what? I am going to just remember that is the case. And I'm going to leave an extra bit of seam allowance. So, we have the seam allowance. You can see it all the way around here. So when we actually make this block, I'm going to remember to just keep a little bit extra all the way along the edge. Oh, my mom says she sets the printer to 102%. So, okay, we're going to give that a try. So I'm going to just write that down with a pencil somewhere. Here we go. I'm going to say enlarge to 102%. So we'll give that a try and see what that looks like. So, all right, worth a try, you guys. That's why it's so nice to have a 6.5-inch ruler, since that's the size of all our blocks. Here we can just double check things like that. So, all right, you can either add some seam allowance or try blowing it up to 102% when you're copying. I am going to try and doing that, the blowing out to 102%. But so I'm going to get that. I have to just print it on normal, just your normal thin printer paper. I don't have it on anything too thin or anything too special. It's definitely a normal paper, though. It's not something thick. We do want it, something that can tear. So the other thing besides the printout that I'm going to have ready is my add a quarter ruler. Now you don't need an add a quarter ruler. Add a quarter. There we go. Add a quarter. It has a bump out on it that's a quarter inch wide, and that's going to help us get perfect seam allowances when we do it. Again, you don't need this. You can do the same thing with a normal quilting ruler, but it makes life so much easier. It's just one of those silly little knickknacks that make one tiny niche little thing that you do that much easier. And you're right, we also need a postcard. So I have my penguin and fish postcard right here. And this will help us to fold along the line. So all these lines here, we're going to be folding them up like that. And a postcard is going to give it a nice crisp edge. So you could use like a manila folder potentially, or like from a magazine, those little postcards from a magazine, or a penguin and fish postcard if you have one. And those are basically our three things that we're going to need. We're going to need the printout, the add a quarter ruler. Again, not necessary. You can use a normal quilting ruler, but if you got one, they're awesome. I do have a link for them if you want to grab one quick. Yeah, Bonnie says election flyers. That would work super swell. And then, yeah, a postcard. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking of it, you could actually probably use the cover of your book for that too, although that might be a little floppy, but that's the kind of thickness that you're going for here. So postcard works great for that. And then we'll still need like our rotary cutter and cutting mat and all that, and our sewing machine. But for extra tools, we just need the photocopy, postcard, and optional add a quarter ruler here. So that is Monday. And so that's what, if you guys want to do this with us Monday, this is a very basic foundation paper piece block. So if you've never done any foundation paper piecing, this might be a great one to start out with for sure. So again, this is the Precious Things block. It's on page 95 of the Splendid Sampler to quilt along. And there's also some applique in it. We'll applique this little heart in the middle once the piece is made. So, all right, guys, I think we'll call it a night there. A little shorty night tonight, but I'm going to flip you around. All right. Oh, yes, Bonnie mentioned glue. Yeah, that would be a good thing to have as well. So I am using just this Sewline glue. It's just just this like blue glue. What I used before this was just some craft Elmer's type glue. So you can just go to like a Target or something and get just a washable glue stick, in the like the children's crafting aisle or the school supplies aisle. That would work fine. Otherwise, this is the Sewline thing. The nice thing about the Sewline is that it is little. It's not like that big round part, so you can get a little bit more precise, but we don't need to be all that precise with this. All we're going to do, use this for, is to glue down our first square before we sew it to the paper. That's it. Easy peasy, and really not entirely necessary. You can use a pin as well, but the glue does make it easy. Another one of those little things, one little extra thing to make it a little bit easier. So awesome. Here is the block from far away. I think you can still read it as a courthouse steps block. I like that little panda in there. It's cute. But all right, guys, I hope you have a fabulous weekend coming up here, and we will just foundation paper piece away starting on Monday. And this will go up on YouTube. I am getting caught up on getting all the videos up onto YouTube. I was behind from before Thanksgiving, and they take a couple hours to load, so I'm about halfway there. I should be able to get the rest of them loaded within the next couple days, by the end of the weekend for sure, including this one. So hopefully we'll be caught up to date soon. So awesome. I will see you guys on Monday then. Have a great weekend. Good night.